Hey everybody, welcome to the broadcast. My name's Kelvin Ma. Today I'm with a special guest. His name is Jeff Rizzo from RizKnows.com. It's a fantastic authority site. They are reviewing tons and tons of different products such as technology products, sports apparel, a whole bunch of things. I'm sure he's going to do a much better job of explaining it than I am, but that's the guest that we have today with us. Jeff, welcome, first of all. And if you'd like to introduce yourself, let us know your background, how you kind of got to this point, and yeah, we'll kind of go from there.
Hey, well, thank you for having me. This is great. This is fantastic. Well, I own RizKnows.com. I also own MySlumberyard.com, which is another authority website, and we provide unbiased, 100% independent reviews of products. We always say this, but products that people care about. So we do like new products. We do a lot more in technology, sports and fitness, that sort of thing. I think just naturally I was more interested in that stuff, and so I kind of started there. But we do a lot of reviews, and we have a heck of a lot of fun with it.
Awesome. So I read a little bit about you on the About page, and I think you are a former investment banker. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. My business partner and myself, we're both former investment bankers.
All right. So you guys met at work then, before, I'm guessing.
That's right. So we grew up in the same area, but we only met each other when we lived in LA, which is quite far from where we live now. And we worked together in investment banking. Interestingly enough, this might be the most interesting thing I'll share today. My business partner had 15 minutes of fame. He wrote a cover letter that went viral overnight. He was like featured on the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, CNN Money, the Daily Mail in the UK, all over the place for a cover letter he wrote that was just very matter of fact. And that's what got him a job at the company that I worked for. And he's one of the greatest guys I've ever met in my life. He's a great guy. And that cover letter, you should read it after we do this interview. It's pretty cool.
Sure, yeah, definitely send it my way.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty interesting. It sounds like a good marketer too.
Yeah, I think, he was just throwing stuff up against the wall to see what stuck, but it was perfect. And it went viral in like 24 hours.
So let's take it back when how long ago was this, by the way, when you guys were working together?
So we worked together, I think, in 2012. And then I left in 2013 and I started RizKnows.
Okay, so you left first then, and he came along afterwards?
Yeah, that's right. So I had no background in internet marketing, no background in creating videos, writing reviews, nothing like that. Um, I think I just naturally gravitated towards products. I'm a frugal guy, and I like to research things and buy a good thing first rather than fumbling around with a bunch of stuff that's not good. And I started just making video reviews because I just felt like people were naturally gravitating towards video for reviews in particular over a lot of written content. I mean, obviously written content still does really well. We write a lot ourselves, but it was still somewhat early days for YouTube, at least for product reviews. And I just started making videos and they were atrocious, but that's how I started.
So this was in 2012, you said, when you began?
2013, late 2013.
2013. Okay. So at that point, it's 2013. You've started publishing some videos. How did you get the inkling to start publishing these videos on product reviews? Because I'm assuming that you probably had heard of affiliate marketing at that point, and that was the little seedling that got in there. Is that correct? How did this all come about?
No, I knew nothing. I
Oh,
knew absolutely nothing. I didn't know how to produce a video. I didn't know how to publish a YouTube video. I didn't know what affiliate marketing was. I didn't know what I obviously knew what display advertising is, and I knew CPM. I didn't really know much about CPA marketing or affiliate marketing. Um, but over time, I was kind of fortunate because the YouTube comments were largely very positive. People could see one individual trying their best to succinctly and helpfully review a product, and so they would just lob in suggestions. That's the comment section of YouTube took my business from nothing to where it is now, because people just shared like great ideas, and somebody said, hey, you should look at affiliate marketing. And that's one of the first things I tried it. And obviously it works well for a lot of people. And yeah, but I knew nothing about it.
that's
I was hemorrhaging money buying products.
wow. I'm actually a little bit surprised about that, just because um, I mean, I just finished writing an article for a guest post coming up here, and one of the points about was just, how to find a niche that's going to set you up for success. And one of the points I wrote was about having a clear path to monetization, which it sounds like you may not have had that clear path. And obviously, you're doing quite fine at this moment.
Yeah, no, I was dumb. You shouldn't do that. Nobody should do that. It was stupid, But I knew that if I created like helpful, entertaining, personable content, that people would buy in and they would watch and continue to watch and subscribe. And then, like anything, you learn more as you go and you refine your model and you try to do better and create better work. And that's really how it happened. It was so linear, it's almost embarrassing.
Was this a side hustle before you left your previous job, or did you just leave and then went headfirst into this?
So I left and I did a bunch of consulting services on the side, which is what most unemployed people say. And so I did a bunch of consulting, which was like real consulting work, help people, with similar situations that I did in investment banking, but albeit on a much smaller level. And then, so this was I was growing RizKnows while doing that. And then at some point, RizKnows just became my focus. And I realized, wow, one day I remember vividly looking back and I had like 10 videos up and I was like, oh my gosh, I got 400,000 views on YouTube. I got to maybe do this more.
Wow. That's impressive considering the just the few amount of videos back then, I guess. But I'm assuming that possibly it was a little bit easier at that point because you said that YouTube was a lot younger and there was less competition at that point.
But not only that, so there was less people making YouTube videos because it's obviously harder to make a YouTube video than a lot of other things. But on top of that, there was just in general less people reviewing products. So when people would go to the videos tab on Google, there'd be less reviews.
At the beginning, did you focus on a specific niche?
Yeah, I really liked wearable technology. So I tell people all the time that I got really lucky because, as you can tell by now, and everybody that's actually watching this can tell, that I'm not a genius. I'm like the most average guy you've ever met in your life. But I hit somehow like the intersection of many industries at the right time. And that's all it was. Because, if I started today, I would be nowhere and I would probably make no money ever. But, unless I worked with you guys, then I would probably make a lot of money. But so I hit the right industries at the right time, and that was it. So I started with wearable technology, and Fitbit was huge, Garmin was huge. This was before the Apple Watch, way before the Apple Watch, and they were a lot more complicated to review than shoes or a lot of other things because they incorporated heart rate and steps and fitness and battery life, and it was fewer people had an incentive to review a more difficult product.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is going to definitely be a call out to anyone who is not familiar with your stuff at all. Like, I've watched definitely a few videos at this point of yours, and they're really good. I mean, you've got a whole team at this point putting it together, but I would imagine that, the foundation of what you first started with, especially if you were so passionate about the products in general, that's kind of led to an evolution in how you create the content and at least the format that it is today. Maybe it's version 10, possibly at this point.
Yeah, I definitely.
How long did it? So when did your partner eventually come into this part of your business then?
3 years after I started, so 2016. Like as I mentioned before, it was so linear, our progression, that it's almost embarrassing. Because if I had known what I know now before, I would probably be in the south of France or something. But that's okay.
So where are you right now then?
I'm in Reno, Nevada, in the basement. How's that?
That's nice. I haven't been to Reno, but I've definitely been to Nevada.
It's a wonderful place. So just to be clear, I love Reno. It's a great place, great city filled with almost Midwesterners, but they're in Nevada. And I always make fun of our basement office, but it's perfect for us because we create videos. So we actually wanted something with no external light.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's probably good for studio time and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if we take a step back into when you first started, you were working probably by yourself for quite a while, and then was your partner the first person that came along to help you, or did you have someone else in between then?
So I started with another good friend of mine, and then he was just too busy with other things, so he quickly went and did those other things, and I was the only person for about 2.5 years. And then I brought on Matt, and Matt's a really sharp, smart guy, passionate guy, hardworking guy, way more hardworking than me. And everything has blown up since Matt came on the team.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, and so how does the team look now then at this point?
Well, so I'm looking at the team over there. We have so Matt, myself, and then 9 other individuals work for us, and we have a lot of video editors, and then we have some other people that review products too. So it's kind of split into two teams. We have the people that produce the content, and then we have the people that review products.
Okay, I think I understand what you're saying. So you've got the people who are kind of on the research end of it, making sure the pros and cons of this or the versus of this product to another product, and then that all gets formulated to the people who are perhaps maybe front facing in your business and giving the reviews themselves. Because from the videos I've seen, you're not the only person who reviews products, even though you are the owner of the site itself.
Well, I love doing the reviews. I don't think I'll ever stop doing YouTube. I love it. It's so much fun. The people are wonderful. The comments are largely helpful. And but yeah, I wanted to hire other people to do what I did because I thought that I could teach people to think critically about a product, but then also present it succinctly to other individuals. So that's what we've done. We have about four people that also review products in addition to me. And then if you count Matt, my business partner, he does some reviews. And then we have the people that actually produce the videos and, they get all the graphics and all that stuff.
Okay. That's very cool. So how long does it take for you generally to produce a piece of content? Let's say a video. Let's just stick to the video portion of it and then go from there.
I would say, so I'm working on some running shoes right now. It'll probably take me about a week for me to form my opinion of the running shoes. And then then once we start filming, the guys will get it done in about 2 to 3 days. So maybe just shy of 2 weeks, probably.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. If we could take a step back even, because there's that point when you talked about at the very beginning, you were hemorrhaging money. And it sounds like you're hemorrhaging money because you were purchasing the product beforehand. Is that how you would do your reviews? Is you would purchase them? Did you have any unique strategies for doing that back in those days when you were first starting? Like maybe going to, I don't know, garage sales or whatever. I'm not really sure. Maybe eBay or something like that.
No, I would just go buy them. It was so dumb, but I would just spend a ton of money on this stuff and then I would give them away or give them to subscribers or keep them,
Really? Wow. That's awesome. I guess, it sounds like you and your subscribers definitely have a pretty fond relationship, I would say. Definitely there's a trustworthiness to that. Just because when I'm looking at other properties, like, because we see so many different websites that are reviewing products that are probably very similar to yours that are essentially your competitors. But as soon as I went on your Instagram account, I could see that there were 15,000 followers on there, which is not small. It's definitely a good amount. But when I think of people who are when I think of people who are looking for products to purchase and things like that in the need, like maybe the best running shoes for women or something like that, they kind of go on Google, they do their search, and then they're done. So how were you able to build this community then around your site?
I think the biggest thing we tried to do is we realized early on being like 2016 that we realized that there were so many people at that point doing reviews and that nobody was really building any loyalty. Like you said, there was a lot of passers-by, and that we were going to try and, since we did so many videos, make them personable. I think that's, I kind of think of myself as like part entertainer, part reviewer. So I like to add in humor. I like to let people know about my life. That sounds very egotistical, but people want to know a little bit about, in some cases, people want to know a little bit about the person that's reviewing their products. And, that's probably been our biggest advantage, is that If I tell somebody that something is good, they buy it and they love it. If I tell somebody that that something isn't good and I don't like it for these few reasons, that they shouldn't buy it, or they should buy a prior generation, or they should save their money, and I save them money, it's amazing. People love it. They don't like being force fed all this hubbub.
Hmm. So in the recent years, then let's say, so back in 2012 when you first started, even though you yourself were not aware of affiliate marketing, eventually you were aware of it, because then you could start monetizing the content that you were creating. So that's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's, good cash flow for you just to become profitable at this point. But now, through those shifts, like let's say 2012 and then there's 2016, it sounds like, and now we're in 2018, people have become a lot more familiar with the concept of affiliate marketing, and not just from the side of the content producer. So even the people who are purchasing the products from the links that you're putting out there. Have you seen that trend? Have you seen that trend kind of evolve, and has it become a hurdle for you? Do you welcome it? I'm just kind of curious on as how upfront you are, I guess, about that part of your business, because people know that you are most likely monetizing it. Maybe they don't know, but at this point in 2018, it's likely that they're probably a little bit more familiar with that.
Well, I completely agree. People are more familiar, and I think that's a good thing. And obviously, we have disclosures all over the place, and I like it. And I'll tell you the reason I like it, because the people that do know about it and they like the work you do, they will intentionally use your links in the future, and they want to support you. They know that I don't want to come out hat in hand and ask somebody for a monthly subscription for some reason or whatever. So they know a way to subscribe and help us and support us is to use those links. So I love it, because I think it keeps our feet to the fire, and we can't just do fly by night low quality content. And I think secondarily, it builds like a better bond between the people that watch our content, because they know that you did something for them, and they'll reciprocate.
I totally agree with that. I mean, there's times when I've watched a video and then, yeah, the end of the video is, hey, if you buy through this link, it just helps us support the channel, and et cetera, et cetera. So it definitely makes a lot of sense. And I think you kind of have to do that. You have to say that legally.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you don't have to provide a whole lot of context. You just tell them there's a few things that you have to tell them, but who cares? I mean, we run a business. People know we run a business. They want to continue to get free, high quality, independent, unbiased reviews that are fun, entertaining, and concise. Why not help?
Yeah. Before, when I was looking at your site, actually, what I thought was interesting is, so you've got a huge you've got 400,000 subscribers on YouTube, who are subscribed purely for a site that is monetized through reviewing of products, right? Which is, at least in I'm a fairly new YouTuber, we'll say, in terms of being a user of YouTube, which is, it's fantastic. But like, I haven't really seen too many people who have followings of that size that are just reviewing products. But beyond that, though, you've also got organic traffic, SEO traffic coming to your website. So when was the transition for that, and how did that look?
So how did I end up getting traffic to the website? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, exactly. Because it sounds like you were concentrating on YouTube first, and then all of a sudden now you're getting it looks like, you've got pretty solid traffic coming.
Yeah, we do actually pretty well on our website. I've been really happy with it. And that was another thing. We started on YouTube and we started to understand YouTube, but we didn't know anything about a website. So as stupid as that sounds, but I didn't know anything about this running a website. So it took us a long time to get any traction, but it was the same principle of trying to create helpful content, slow the reader down, provide more graphics, and just be helpful. And for us, we weren't really relying on it. So it didn't really matter. It wasn't life or death. So we just tried to put up helpful content. Though originally we started just putting our videos up there. We had a bunch of like really thin pieces of content, and that didn't help us out so much. But yeah.
So I guess, did you get a penalty? Is that why you saying it didn't work, or was it just because it was this effort that you were putting in that just wasn't garnering anything?
No. We just didn't know anything about SEO or a website or anything. We were just so dumb. And like I had dozens of 404 errors. I mean, I could write out a list of just things that we were doing poorly. It was bad.
So how did it turn around then?
I think the biggest thing that turned it around was the people that developed our website. They looked back and they started seeing like, hey, these guys are getting a modest amount of traffic. And then they approached us and said, well, you're making all these errors. Let's work together to kind of try and fix them. And we're really thankful for them and we love them. And they continue to work on a website and they're wonderful people. Although I'm mad because initially they didn't tell us that we were messing up.
What do you mean they weren't telling you that you were messing up? Like,
well, they didn't provide any proactive services. They built the website and they just made sure it was hosted well and all that stuff, but they didn't provide any proactive look into SEO or anything like that.
oh, I've got you. I got you.
Yeah.
So you had them develop the website, and then they came back later to tell you that they could have that there's some things that you could improve afterwards.
Yeah. Well, it was also one of those things where, just like the YouTube channel, we had no expectations for it, and we looked back, we're like, oh, it's doing pretty well. And also, we get a lot of direct traffic, or social and direct traffic.
So how big is your business now? Is it, you don't have to say revenue numbers. I'm just curious as to, like, are we talking, is this like $1 million business? Is this not $1 million business? Like,
oh yeah, it's over that.
Okay. That's
that.
let's dive into your content process, actually. Because I think that's probably one of the most interesting parts about your business, just because the content quality is so high. And when I say high, I mean, I'm talking about when I'm watching the video, there's different segments, there's different jump shots and stuff like that. And then, somehow in the middle, you've got like a little poll in there and you're asking people to vote on a poll and stuff like that. So it's very interactive and it's quite interesting. But then you've also got, so you've got the videos that you're producing, but then you've also got the articles that you do on top of that, that the video just slides into on the blog. So if you could walk me through to maybe, if we can go through, I really want to go deep into this whole process. So like, let's even go back to the point where you are deciding even what product to review.
Okay, let me give you an example. How about we just start with an example? So I've got a pair of, sorry, hold on. I got a pair of running shoes here that we bought online. Sorry. We bought a pair of running shoes. And so what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to get all the specs for them. And I already know all of it off the top of my head because I've done the prior 5 iterations of these shoes. But I'll get all the specs for them. I'll try them out just kind of in the office, make sure they fit, make sure they're comfortable, make sure there's nothing wrong with them. And then I just start running with them and trying them out. And I don't really write any notes until like after my workouts or after my testing. Don't usually do it right in the middle because I want to have like multiple things to write down. And so I'll try these out, like I said, for about a week, kind of in that range, maybe 5 days, maybe 9 days, just in that range. And oddly enough, it means that I work out a lot, like sometimes multiple times per day, because it's a lot of fitness stuff. And then what I'll do is I'll get all my notes together. I'll look at if we have a prior review of them to kind of see what's changed with the shoes as an example. And then I'll write a script for it, because I think part of our sell to people is really 3 things, right? Being helpful is the first thing. Entertaining is probably the second thing, because I think a lot of people watch our videos just for enjoyment. And then the third thing is concision. So, is it 30 minutes long? That's probably not too helpful. Is it under 10 minutes? Okay, we'll try for under 10 minutes. So then I film the video, and then our production team will take the shoes and or me, and they'll go get a bunch of B-roll shots of them, just pictures of them, images of them, videos, GIFs, all that stuff. And then they'll assemble our videos. And then either I or somebody on our writing staff, they will write the written review or the comparison on our website. And then then probably the website portion will go live first, since we have all the information already. We just don't have the video yet. And then once the video is live, we'll put the video back on the site. It's pretty simple.
And is this process that you just went over, is that something that is that something that you're like, do you have like operating procedures around that sort of thing, like for the other people who are also reviewing products? Because you yourself, you've been doing this for years, right? But then when someone new comes onto the team, how does that look? Like, are you pretty hands-on in terms of that, or like do you have like a whole, I don't know, video training center for new coming reviewers? Like how does that look so that you can basically replicate what you're doing for others?
You know, I usually just let them go, try it, and then we work together. It'll take me like a month to train up a new person, because I'll let them fail a number of times. Not fail, but you know, they just don't have everything that we quite want there, and then we'll just work together, and that's it. You know, it's my opinion is not the right opinion, and their opinion is not the right opinion. So we value having a lot of different perspectives. So if someone else reviews shoes, they might not hit on everything that I would hit on, but as long as it's helpful, entertaining, and concise, you can't ask for better than that.
Okay. So when, like, let's say if you had a new, let's say I'm the intern at RizKnows.com.
That's right.
And I've come in and you've given me these pairs of shoes. I've taken them for a test drive for a day, maybe 2 days. I come back with you. I've got a script in hand, and so when you are looking, like from your point of view, when you're looking at the script that I've laid out, are there specific points that you want to have highlighted in there sometimes?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. There's definitely a lot of quality control. I just meant that if they don't come to my exact same conclusion, that's fine. But yeah, of course, there's lots of quality control. You know, there's probably 10 aspects with any running shoe that we talk about with almost every pair of running shoes. So, you know, there's things like the heel to toe drop, the weight, the fit, the support, the cushioning level. You know, so there's lots of stuff that they'll check off. And we have those same kind of checklists for audio, for different home goods, for, you know, wearable tech and all that stuff.
Got it. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Was are there some standard procedures going on back there that that are kind of giving you that essentially the edge, right? I mean, it's the edge that you guys have in terms of putting the content together. Do you have any idea how much a piece of content costs for you? Like, let's say, like one video to, okay, he just said no, by the way, because this video.
So some of them are a lot more affordable. Others are way more expensive. Typically, the videos that get more views, we spend a lot more money to produce. I think it's just like we know the products, like these running shoes, not to keep using them as an example, but I have other stuff. These true wireless earbuds, they're from Soul Republic, and I happen to really like them, but they just don't search as well. I mean, you guys know how to search keywords and stuff, and they just don't search as well. So a lot of times we're at the mercy of how popular their products are. So
okay, that kind of goes in line with some of the practices that we have. Like, so you're mostly on video, and you know, I guess you've also got the blog aspect to that. And we have this thing, it's called revenue-oriented keyword research, and that's just, it's fairly simple. I mean, it's just a bunch of numbers where we look at, okay, if we are ranking on the third position, and the third position in Google for this, you know, for the term, you know, A6 X review, whatever, and then if we're on the third position, that's going to get 10% of clicks, and then out of those clicks, you know, if the 1,000 people that search, the 10% would click through if you're on the third position, and then from there, you know, let's say 35% of those people end up clicking our affiliate link to Amazon, and then Amazon's conversion rate is, I think it's like 5%, and then yeah, from there that's kind of how we judge our our spend basically, and in which types of content we should be producing first, especially if it's like kind of like a newer property. Like ourselves, we definitely build more properties than the average the average site builder. So we're kind of constantly starting new and looking at those things, which is interesting because you've been working on your business for a really long time too, right? So and I guess, and you've also got the mattress site as well, and that I believe is that a fairly new project for you?
Yeah, yeah, it's part of like one of our strategy that we learned uh, I'd say early on when Matt joined was that we tried to put everything under the RizKnows umbrella, and we figured out that we have a large audience there, but not everybody wants to watch running shoes, and not everybody wants to watch mattresses or wearable tech. And so what we're trying to do is slowly separate the categories. So the most natural one was to just like spin off the home goods and bedding, and it's called the slumber yard, but we plan to do like other home goods, and make that maybe our home goods category, and then probably eventually return RizKnows back to just like pure fitness and sporting goods, and then move into a technology space too, because we eventually we need to bifurcate. That's part of our strategy, is to kind of take them apart.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, and it's interesting too because I was just speaking to somebody the other week who owns another site. It's called CompareKey, but they also do this near kind of the same thing as you, but they're not using videos as much as you. But they've got a whole review site it's massive, and at this point they've already done it, but they've already started to dismantle their site to categories that are performing best for them. And another thing too, which is also probably beneficial for you, is that because I do know that on RizKnows you review mattresses on there as well, and then if you got the slumber yard, that basically means that you can have two different properties ranking for the same searches for people.
Yeah, but we actually don't feel really good about that, so we're taking away we're slowly taking away the stuff from RizKnows, because people know that we own both, so we don't want to hide that from people. We want to eventually move it all to the one space, and it's a process, but yeah. I mean, I guess
Oh.
there might be strategic advantages with that, but I don't know. I like our whole thing is that we want to show people who we are and what we do, and I don't want long term, I don't want to hide behind that sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. It definitely makes sense. It's very prominent on your site too, that you own these different properties.
Yeah.
Even in like, I think even in the email conversations that we've had, I think it's like on the email signatures and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're really proud of what we did. I mean, I can't tell you how much time and stuff we invest in this, and we see what a lot of other people do, and we're sort of disappointed because we try to treat our videos like you would treat a person in person, how you would recommend something to somebody in person, and you wouldn't be taking money to say it's good or bad. You wouldn't be doing all this stuff, and so I don't know. Maybe long term it won't work out for us, but we feel like we're playing a little bit of a longer game.
That actually brings me to a pretty good segue at this point, because one of the things I wanted to talk about with you was conversions. So let's talk about back when you first started. I mean, it sounds like you're an investment banker who just wanted to make some videos about some products that you were fairly passionate about. The passion for sure comes through in terms of the fact that because you're buying these products with your own hard money, right? But there probably was a point when you realized that you would be doing a better job of having people come through, maybe even just subscribe to your channel or anything like that. So what kind of like conversion tips have you learned along the way from 0 to 400?
Oh, you mean converting? Okay, yeah. Because we actually look at that a lot more than we look at affiliate conversions, because
I'd like to talk about both. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I guess I focus more on converting people to subscribers than converting people to purchases, because we are doing just fine, and I want to play a longer game where I actually build a true audience that cares about what we do, and So I just don't care about the conversions from that standpoint that much. As long as we can pay our bills and we're doing fine, which we are doing very great. I don't look at that. I really don't care. I care about how many people I can get to support RizKnows and love RizKnows. I mean, I love getting recognized in person, going places and people say, hey, you're RizKnows. It's awesome because people really trust what we're doing. And I think that is a lot different than a lot of other review sites. So I focus more on converting people. So I try to do videos that are in our space. I try to do a good job. And then throughout the video, I try to have different cues to have people subscribe. It's not, it's nothing unethical, but it'll be like, hey, if you like the video, make sure to subscribe. I like to do audio call outs. Then I like to have graphical call outs and, stuff of that nature. And I think YouTube is getting so big that people just know how to subscribe. So if they like it, they'll subscribe. You don't need to jam it down their throat.
And I guess they can press a little bell too as well.
I don't even tell people about that. It bogs down the content. It fits with a lot of other pieces of content, like fits with pure entertainment stuff. But with reviews, it just doesn't seem to fit quite right. So I don't even tell people about it. They know.
I think that makes a lot of sense, right? You'll just kind of annoy people if just like you said, right? If you're reviewing all these different products and you're reviewing a mattress one day and you're reviewing earbuds another day and then reviewing running shoes the next day, it can maybe be a little bit out of the picture for that person that was kind of looking there initially for the specific product. So that's how you get subscribers, basically. So that's the main thing. But you mentioned that you don't pay attention to conversion rates. Is that true? Like, you're not lying to me at all? There's nothing about that?
No. Well, I don't care. It's going to happen. People are going to click through and buy, but I don't know. I think that's a short-term mentality on at least on YouTube, right? There are different ways to lay out a website to alert people that there are links there. I mean, clearly people have figured out how to make people purchase through a website. And we try to do that to a certain extent, but we have no technical acumen. So we're kind of hamstrung by the designs of our websites and we don't really do much with them. So I guess we thought about it when we designed our website. Turns out we could do it a lot better. We just haven't. But from YouTube, I don't know. I want to get to 2-4 million subscribers one day. I mean, we're ways away from that, but I don't know. I feel like it's almost like a respect for our audience. Like, they're smart enough to understand. They're smart enough to subscribe. They're smart enough to know how to click our links. Like, I don't know. I have really high expectations for the people that watch our videos, that they're intelligent enough to understand how this whole thing works.
There's also, to be honest with you, I'm actually not that surprised that you don't care that much about conversions. Simply by the fact that, again, if you guys haven't seen the videos that Jeff is producing, if you, at least from my perspective, when I'm watching the video, it seems like every single part of that video is custom made.
It is. Of course it is.
Yeah. I mean, like, there was, I think I was watching, I think it was a watch video that you just released, and it was a smartwatch comparison between, I think it's the Apple Watch and the Fitbit one. And there's a there's a part of the video where the watch is on a rock, and then there's an ant crawling on this watch. And I was thinking, that's gotta be, like, that's custom made right there. He went out in the forest or on the lake or anywhere, and then his team or somebody was just taking all these different videos. Like, you guys have got stuff like really, really weave together quite nicely. Obviously they're professionals at this point, but I could see why, if the content is so good, you're kind of letting it speak for itself. And from there, realistically, that is how you convert customers or commissions.
Yeah, and that's how you build an audience. I mean, people just trust you. I mean, your friends trust you, my friends trust me, and I'm just trying to build up a network of people that just trust us. Like, the business is successful. If RizKnows fails tomorrow, which it's not going to, who cares? People are really going to respect what we did here and know that we didn't take the short road. I don't know. I'm preaching now. I'm just going off. This is what I tell my employees every day: do the right thing, do good work. You know, I drive that into the head. But I really, really feel that. And every video is custom made. Every video takes hours and hours and hours to produce, and we think about everything critically, and we just, yeah, trying to do good work.
So if RizKnows happened to, for whatever reason, just it's done. Like something happened, and it's over with. What would you do today with the knowledge that you have, but maybe not the resources? So you don't have the team, you don't have any of that stuff. It's just yourself. What's it look like? Is it kind of the same thing you did before, or like what does it look like on your end?
I have not even thought about it because I'm not going to let it happen. So yeah, I don't know. I'd be very sad because, you know, we built this thing up and we're really passionate about it, and it really have a big impact on my life. But, you know, I'd pick up myself up off the ground and go do something. I don't know. Maybe I'd do more reviews in the future. I like making videos. They're a lot of fun. I'm not sure. I do think this probably speaks more to you guys because you guys have a wonderful business that helps people with making money online. I think there's a real opportunity in local SEO. I'm sort of sometimes sad that our are making money on a local basis. I'm a little bit sad sometimes that we're so national or global. That makes it sound huge, but, you know, we reach an audience all over the place. I think there's some cool opportunities on the local level.
Definitely. I mean, there's a thriving community of people. Just even, yeah, when I'm going around, because our team is completely distributed throughout the world, so we've got people all over the place, and like I don't live close to any of my teammates here. So and I definitely hear you with that. So I live in Calgary.
Okay, I had to say where I live, so you have to disclose it.
I live in Calgary. I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. So just up north, a little bit colder.
Reno's pretty cool too, but yes, I have no doubt that it's cold. Well, in Calgary, don't you have the is it the Calgary Stampede?
Yes, we have the Calgary Stampede every July. It's a fantastic time. Anybody that wants to come by should definitely come. It's it is the world's greatest outdoor exhibition. That's what they call it.
I've heard it's amazing. Maybe I'll see you there.
I do want to take a step back though, just because when we were talking about when we were setting the stage for if RizKnows had just completely been if it was gone, what would you do from that point? So I was trying to kind of get to a point where to set you in a setting where you kind of have to start all over, because there's definitely some people in our audience that are maybe at that point. So I'm trying to I want to get them to a point where they can kind of replicate your success, and just kind of these last tips, because we're going to basically close it off at this point, maybe just a few more questions. But this is the kind of the crescendo, we'll call it, of the interview, to the point where I want to get people some knowledge that you've grown a huge publishing business at this point. So what kind of advice do you have for those people who are maybe starting from zero to maybe just getting their first online dollar?
Well, yes, I would do it again, by the way. Yes, I would. I obviously I gave somewhat of a facetious answer earlier, but I would do it again. Yeah, so I would probably focus again on the exact same principles of trying to build the audience, not make a dollar. I would get another job and I would try and do it again, and I would continue to try and build an audience, because I really genuinely think long term that's the way you win. You don't win it by arbitrage. I mean, some people have won by arbitrage, but you don't. I don't think long term that wins. So I would do more videos, because I think there are lots of advantages to doing videos. Namely, you build a connection with the people, among other things. And I would probably do I would take what I know now and just do it again.
Awesome. So I sent you some questions at the end there before, and you don't have to refer back to it, but one of the questions was I wanted to know about a favorite book that you had, and then also did you happen to have a mentor throughout this role, or throughout the part building this business?
I do have a favorite book, but I have multiple favorite books, I guess I would say. I actually just got done reading a book called Ride the Thunder, which is written by a friend of mine that's about the Vietnam War. And I often don't like how people discuss the Vietnam War in hindsight, but I won't get into that. So that was a good book. But I would say my favorite book is probably Team of Rivals. It's about Abraham Lincoln and about how his early life, how he became president, the things, obviously the amazing things that he did once he became president. And that book's unreal. It's very good, but it's a little long. It's like as long as the Bible, and it tells you like what he ate on Thursday morning. So it's maybe unnecessarily detailed, but it's a great book.
Okay, that sounds awesome. I mean, it sounds like you're into biographies. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I've been meaning to read the Walt Disney one just because I think the Walt Disney story is just fascinating. How someone can basically go from nothing to build this huge legacy business, which is going to be around for, I
Ever.
presume, yeah, hopefully quite a while because they've been able to touch a lot of lives. Well, Jeff, I think that's going to be the end of our discussion together. So I'm really hoping that that it was a good time for you and that people were able to pull a lot of value out of that. Because I mean, again, if you guys have not checked out RizKnows.com or his YouTube channel, there's a lot that you can pick up there, especially on the video front, I would say.
No, well, thank you very much for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks again.
Alrighty.